for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. As always, we want to remind you that the shop, of course, is being brought to you by none other than the fine folks over at Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website, rocketdigital.net. That's ROCKIT digital.net. And make sure when you're there or while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. Before we get started on today's program and the subject matter, and I introduce, as always, my co-host, I just wanted to let the 5 folks out there that's following us, I'm going to say thank you. We appreciate your support, of course. And then 2, for whatever reason, this platform that we use in the StreamYard or whatnot, we have some technical difficulties at times. So if you all can bear with us and try to sift through the bull crap or muck and just focus on the core of the content, we might get through this. All right. Joining me on the program today is none other than my cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park. Yeah, Brother Rich, what's happening?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Oh, that's it?
I smell dog pound season approaching. That's what all I have to say is I smell dog pound season is approaching rapidly.
It ain't dog pound. I tell you that. Is what you
It ain't the cowboy. It ain't no cowboy dung. I tell you that right now.
Here we go again. Here we go. It's always rented mule stuff. And on the other side of the ledger, we got my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. I wish he'd stop cutting the intro short anyway. Tell the people what you say. Oh, and he's not saying
Tell you what, I think for the last 5 days in Northeast Ohio, I smelled something else too.
Yeah.
Facts.
Oh my gosh.
Facts.
Yeah, got you. All right. Yeah. Anywho, you know what? Before we get into some of these the entrees is what I call them. No appetizers today. We got 2 entrees for you all. I just wanted to say to both my esteemed co-hosts and whatnot. I pray that everything is going good out there in LA. I heard that the Clippers, Lakers, the Los Angeles Generals, I don't know what y'all calling yourselves now, the Raiders. I still don't know who's what, but you all got Russell Westbrook. Yay! Yay! You know what I'm saying? Are you excited, Brother Rich, about the addition of, Westbrook, as some people like to call him?
I'm very happy for Russell Westbrook being back home. I don't know what that means for the Lakers. I'm up in the air about what that means because I don't know what that means. I'm be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't see at this time how that fits, but hey, it remains to be seen. But I'm happy for Westbrook because he's back home, and that's where he wanted to be ultimately.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, I feel about the guy, man. The dude he don't quit. Okay.
Facts.
When you pay for a ticket to see that guy, he's gonna show up every night, all the time, every time. And if he played 17 minutes, it's gonna look like he played 48. And if he played 48 minutes,
you can double time that with him playing in the Staples at home in front of his family and friends every night.
Yes,
you can double that.
Yes. And if he played 48 minutes, it's gonna look like the 3 overtime game between the
Facts.
Suns and the Hawks, I believe, back in 79 or whatever, 81, 84, something like that. Double J, you went to the draft party. We didn't really get to do a show on the NBA draft. I didn't really see why it was necessary because, we know we're going to hear about these guys now, but once the season starts, because there was a question asked whether or not if it was parity in the NBA, we're not going to hear about these guys until maybe 5 or 6 years down the road, until the other teams like the Lakers and the Nets maybe have injuries, and I'm wishing nothing on nobody. And then when those teams have injuries, then we get to see the rest of the field. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you went to the NBA draft up there in Pistons country. How did it all shake out?
Well, I have nothing but high praises for the ensemble that was put together by the franchise. Was thankful to be there. Actually, right here is the little VIP access that will be the little memento rather.
Okay.
Thanks to by of KDM. Yeah, we got the Cade Brigade. So now here's the thing though. This is the problem I have specifically. If I am gonna have one little pet peeve, if you're a basketball fan and you're not just a Pistons fan, and if I told you that the draft party was over before the middle of the first round, that's not really a party to me. It was, party at that point. Us purists, by the time I would get back to the house, the draft's over. The first round's done, and I'm playing catch up. So that was the only complaint. Otherwise, again, the hors d'oeuvres, the drinks, there, everything was top flight. I just wish it would have been a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's all good.
Nobody throws a party like the NBA.
Oh well, we know that. Yeah, right. Double J. Seems like when you sit back a little bit, Double J, what you're saying comes through a little clearer. It's like when you sit forward more is when we get the crackling noise. But again, we're gonna try to get through this. But yeah, nobody throws a party like the NBA. All righty then. Wrong button.
Oh, he added more buttons. This is terrible. Oh, this is hard.
Yes,
this
indeed.
is very hard.
This
is hard.
I'm sorry.
This is a hard invention.
What are you saying?
I said this.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought I heard you. I thought I heard you saying something. Yeah. So in the Olympic news, or in the world of the Olympics, out there in Tokyo, there's a lot of conversation, of course, in regards to what took place with Simone Biles. And in the court of public opinion, and I won't even mention some of the things that were said about her that I had to even cover my own ears, okay? Which I thought was just disgusting, deplorable, indignant, degenerate, and any other adjective you could use to describe the people who were saying such things. Yes, I said it, and I'll say it again if I could remember what I just said. But anyway, there's a few things I put together here for today's show, and I'm going to let you all weigh in on this. But for what's being said about her, they say in particular that she quit. And I'm saying to myself, and then of course the comparison was made, and this again, we talking about the court of public opinion here now. The comparison was made to, they gave examples. If Tom Brady was to quit in the first quarter or something or another, would that be acceptable in LeBron James and so on and so forth? But anyway, Brother Rich, I'll let you weigh in on that portion because we got a few things we want to, touch on about that particular subject. But I'll let you start us off and have your say or have your way.
I don't know. Well, let me say I don't know where to start with this. I'm gonna start here where you left us, and where you left us was if Tom Brady did X and so, if Michael Jordan did X and so. Let's put him in the conversation for the sake, because that's who I look up to. Kobe. If Kobe was to do so and so. And the answer is yes. Here's the question at hand. Why did she do what she did? Did Simone Biles do what she did because she just didn't feel like competing this day? Or, as we have now found out, and let me say this before I go there. Thank goodness to all her teammates and so many athletes from all across the world that reached out on social media on her behalf and understood immediately what she was dealing with. Because every one of these people are human beings, and we forget that sometimes. And so here we are. We want to know why a young woman is experiencing this. And I'm sure Simone Biles on one level, I'm sure she's happy. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't know, I don't know, we don't know what it's like for a young Black girl coming up in Texas to invade, in some people's eyes, a lily white sport that is run and ruled by white suburban mothers who are able to afford to send their children off to these camps. So they never liked her anyway. So her doing this, being forced to do this, is just an excuse for them to do and say what they always wanted to say. This just gave them the guys, the cover to do what they always wanted to do anyway. They never liked her. They had to accept her because when she grew to such prominence and she became the national representative for the nation in terms of women's gymnastics, she's the best in the world. She's the best that's ever done it. She's won more medals. How do you say somebody like that is not interested in competing? Of course she's interested in competing. She told us that she had something called the twisties. And immediately when she came out and said she had the twisties, other competitors right away jumped to her and said, her defense, and said they knew exactly what she's talking about. Here's why Tom Brady and Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, would be excused from not competing in a scenario like that. Because if they were in an altered state psychologically, emotionally, had taken some medication, or had just received what you call in football today, they call it a concussion, where you get knocked off your feet, but you're taken out of the game. Are you quitting if you leave the game for a concussion, or are you looking out for your health and safety? Here's a young woman that if she misses on any one of those turns, where this young lady is balancing on sometimes a beam that is not even 2 inches in width.
Yes.
You're telling if she makes one mistake in the kinds of flips that she's doing, she could injure herself permanently, if not kill herself. So if she knows that she's not ready, look at this. Then we talk about the Olympics. She's at the Olympics. It's not like she hurt the team because she was good enough and kind enough to say, look, I'm not my best today. So let me sit out and let somebody else who worked just as hard as me to get here. They qualified to get here. They earned a spot to get here. Let this young woman fulfill her dreams. And that's what she did. And the team won a medal anyway. They wanted to go anyway. So it's disingenuous for all these people to point to Tom Brady, people who never did anything in their lives on the level approaching. I've never done that. We've never done that. Approaching the athleticism that this young woman continues to exhibit, even in her altered state, because they found out she couldn't take her ADD medication into the competition with her, and other things been going on with her. So it's disingenuous. It's foolishness for them to put this kind of stuff out there. They're just saying what they always want to say all the time.
Man, tell them how you really feel, bro. Rich, that's what I'm talking about. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, I was about to hit another button, but I ain't gonna do it. It was a great button. It wasn't a bad button. Yeah, I'm in total agreement with everything you said, plus to the 12th power. Double J, before you weigh in, let me read to you somebody, a Facebook acquaintance, if you will, a Facebook friend, who in essence kind of piqued my thought process on this, and it actually correlates to what Brother Rich just said. The guy's name is K. Eli Slade, Elislade, and I'm shouting him out right here. Get a shout out. Yes, absolutely. What if the NFL told Tom Brady his touchdown passes will only be 4 points because he was too good? Or the NBA gave MJ 1 point instead of 2 because he scores much better than the other players?
Facts.
There would be outrage on ESPN, boycotts, death threats against David Stern, etc. But when the Olympics imposed this on Simone Biles, crickets, deal with it. I'm going to stop right there. My question to people was this. All of the chatter, negative chatter surrounding her, I said, if you're going to go back to the timeline, you can't start at the middle of the story and tell a story. You got to start at the beginning. Why are we not talking about the IOC and they corrupt NCAA mafia-like how they get down in regards to this young lady? Because if you ask me, and I wasn't there, and I will say this though, I went to school with her biological mother, and I'm gonna leave it right there. You get what I'm saying? Nice young lady, okay. But my thing is, the IOC, let me slow down. You're not gonna judge her on her craft, being the best at her craft, so how do you mentally stay engaged anyway if you're her? You know what I'm saying? In other words, if y'all not gonna judge me fairly, why am I here? Yeah, I'm sick of what it is y'all doing. Yes, that's a mental thing. Yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm out. I'm glad she did what she did, but let me finish reading here. Excuse me. No petitions, withdrawals from the U.S. Olympics Committee. So, after practicing your routine for years, you must mentally and physically alter your performance to be appropriately scored to keep everything, quote unquote, fair. And when you realize you don't align with their standards, quote unquote, you make the hard decision to not hurt your teammates' score, who, by the way, showed out yesterday, or risk your health in a sport where one bad slip can mean paralysis. You're labeled egotistical, overrated, and most of all, a quitter because you won't conform. In all honesty, the IOC quit on Simone, not the other way around. Double J, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, first, it was you can the first of which is not being scored accurately. I think that is criminal in itself, and at that point, I personally I wouldn't participate if I had to be judged anyway, because I'm too good. I don't. That just doesn't make sense to me. We as you just covered with related to Tom Brady. Say this: you threw the Michael Jordan example out there. Did we forget that? Did we forget what went on during that time, his time away?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his father passing and so on and so forth. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of things that had nothing to do with the game of basketball. So those throwing that example out there clearly are too young to even understand what they're talking about. Additionally,
to really go do some research and find out. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And so, and to those that say, well, if I have a bad day at work, can I just quit? If I have a bad day as a parent, can I stop doing that? The fact that we've drawn a parallel in our minds of a once every 4-year sport to an everyday job that was agreed upon by the individuals themselves. How disconnected society is. It's preposterous to try to say that those two are equals. Because the last time you doing your job does not require millions of people watching your every move. Or you being a parent, you're not under a microscope that these individuals are subjected to. And unlike some of the sports that you mentioned, these ladies aren't, we've talked about payment discrepancies. And they're okay. They do well. So once you get beyond the BS and understand that this wasn't not only not a fair fight for this young lady, but then additionally, look, she told you're going to compete and we're going to give you multiple hurdles to overcome to then try to beat the rest of the world, which is not the same. It is not as simple as just walking out on the field.
Yeah, for sure.
Except from if you're having a bad day, etc. The fact of the matter is, if you have a chemical imbalance in your brain via ADHD, ADD, and you are told you can't take whatever it is that you level the playing field, just level the playing field, not give you an advantage, just level the playing field. You're putting her at a disadvantage.
I'm with you all day, every day. And for whatever reason, again, we're sorry to our listeners and viewers out there, man. It's choppy.
Mind you, it just came out that two of the soccer players for the women's team are promoting CBDs and using it for recovery and are getting millions of dollars of endorsement dollars to do this at this very same Olympics. CBD, which is an extraction of the cannabis plant, it doesn't have the THC element, but nevertheless, the benefits are still there. It's the same benefits, but they're allowed the medication.
Yeah. Well, it's different strokes for different folks, so to speak, in this case. You know what I mean? We in charge. We say how it go. We can do what we say, and you do as I say and not as I do. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The fact of the matter is, you know what? If let's just say this, they win. She's a hero. She takes her own life shortly after. Who's to blame? The selfish American public. That this is part of the problem with all of us. Is that this is why when you hear these people saying these things, you know what those people are doing with their own kids? They're telling them, get out there. I don't care if your knees hurt. Go.
Mm-hmm.
Fact.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and again, we apologize for the technical. We apologize for the technical difficulties. I appreciate you all staying with us. What's the gymnast years ago? Carrie Strug was her name or something like that.
Yes.
Bella Caroli was the trainer or whatever it is.
Yep.
Well, it comes out years later. Now, here's what's crazy. I get it. When are you hurt or are you injured? If you can lace it up, you can get back out there and play type of deal or whatnot. But again, to your point, Brother Rich, and this is why your word choice has to be. You got to be particular. You got to pay attention to the verbiage. When you said on a balance beam this thin, that's different than being on a basketball court 94 feet and however many wide or whatever the case may be.
Her playing condition, her job or working condition are extremely dangerous. Far more dangerous, one could argue, than a football player. Than Tom Brady, who is protected by linemen. This young lady is doing 360 flips in midair and coming down with tremendous force. If she makes one mistake, she's out of here.
That could be it. Yeah, that could be it. But
mind you, how is she weak-minded with? Yes, here's a young lady that survived and has survived. It's been proven sexual assault that was rampant. These are young women that after sustained sexual assault that are many times malnourished because they're forced to maintain a certain weight. You see, so in order to fit the weight category and be able to do those tremendous feats that they do, this is real. These young ladies put themselves under tremendous strain. They should be
at a young age too. Sacrifice,
not disrespect. Yes, and Simone Biles is the elder in this today among these girls, and we're just going to dismiss all of that of her history and just cast her aside and cast aspersions towards her name. This is ridiculous, man. We are. It's good to see people are rallying to her defense. I'll continue to say that.
And you mentioned the twisties. Let me point something out here. When gymnasts have the twisties, they lose control of their bodies as they spin through the air. Sometimes they twist when they hadn't planned to. Twisties are such that the instinct gets replaced by thought. Then the thought quickly leads to worry. And worry is difficult to escape. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Okay.
When she's spinning in the air and she's dealing with the twisties, effect. Yeah, she doesn't know where she's at. That's like me telling you close your eyes, cross your chest, and then fall back. Who's going to, you see what I'm saying? We're doing this, whatever that, that exercise, people, you know what I'm saying?
And we're asking her to ignore this. We're asking her to ignore all of that for people's pleasure, for their entertainment. Because at the end of the day, that's what she's doing. She's entertaining us. She's not she's going to get what they call celebrity and fame, but there's no real future in that. This is her last go round, if you will, in terms of doing that on that level.
Right.
So she's really there to entertain us and represent her country in a sport that she's dedicated her entire life to, that we now just want to dismiss that and say, she quit. Come on, man.
I know.
We only do that because she's a young black girl, and you can't ever escape racism in America. And I will continue to say that, and I don't care who dismisses it. Racism is at the bottom of all of this.
Oh, I mean, what's already understood really need not be explained.
Yeah, but we need to say it sometimes, because sometimes we hide under, people will say, well, I was talking about Michael Jordan. So this is not a racist thing. This is about heart and athletes.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But this is because you didn't want that young girl there. You didn't believe she belonged there. And I'm telling you, if that young lady could tell you the stares and the things she's had to endure as a young African American woman, a young black girl coming up in a sport like that. I'm telling you, her story, her book would be long. When she writes the book, she'll tell some of what she's experienced.
Absolutely. It'd be a 12-part series, and I'm not being cynical either. You get what I'm saying? Here's something else I found interesting. I haven't watched the games in their entirety. Actually, me and my daughter was watching badminton, and it wasn't too bad. It was China and Australia. They was going back and forth. It was going at it. But we've seen a few events. I've seen a few of the track and fields and so on and so forth. But what I noticed, and maybe it's just me, but there seems to be a lot of protests in various pockets throughout these games going on. And I'm talking about, here it is. This is on a world stage. Okay. We remember now in the Olympics when Tommy and my man, with the raised fist and so on and so forth, right? That was singular. Okay, they did this and that. But I'm seeing more and more athletes in these games are saying, you know what? And I mean, they having a say. In particular, I forget the young lady's name. Oh, no, excuse me. She's a shot putter for America. Raven Saunders, when she crossed her arms or whatnot, as in protest. Hey, to your point, Brother Rich, we're in a day and age now, social media, you can't hide from it. You got to deal with this. Hey, listen, and you can't miss me with playing the victim. How you get to play the victim in a situation, you got something to do with why the situation is what it is. You can't play the victim. You got to deal with it. You created this, like, Dr. Frankenstein, you created this. So guess what? You got to deal with it. Double J, you going to say something?
No, I mean, you nailed it with what's happening, where, as Brother Rich highlighted, a lot of stuff, and ultimately we've seen this in the past, even with in other instances. And so the unfortunate side is just that fact that we've from just the sport and games themselves and what their origins once were, to having such highly motivated expectation, where we think these individuals should do, and just completely ignore the human element of it as well. It shows as you've pointed out on occasions, that a lot of folks still are headline readers and not actual readers, because they would see that, there's a lot of instances throughout history, and related to. It's a frustrating point for me.
Yeah, headline readers, water cooler fanatics, if you would. You know what I mean? You just, he said what she said, but she said she didn't. And then they run with it. You know what I mean? That's why I say you can't start in the middle of a story and then try to tell a whole story. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? You're going to get found out. Good stuff, fellas. Let us move on. All right. Even though we got the technical difficulties going, it is a little tedious and monotonous and all that other good stuff. We appreciate y'all once again for staying with us. We are definitely working on the problem here as we speak. I'm going back and forth in the chat with the folks at StreamYard, as well as we've been exploring other options prior to coming live today. Well, NFL training camps have started. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brother Richards and Double J's Dallas Cowboys. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And you're Miami Hurricane.
Dallas
you're Miami Hurricane. No,
right.
I'm not listening to your foolishness. You say shout out to Brother Double J and Brother Richard. I'm not listening to that foolishness you talking about with Dallas Cowboys. You called your own team. You can't call my team. You said Dallas Cowboys because that's your team, but you know very well.
Yeah, you said the best division of football too.
Yeah,
I asked a question. I didn't make a statement. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Don't try that. Don't try that.
You made a statement. You attempted to make a statement by saying something about the Dallas Cowboys relative to myself.
Poof. Huh? Be gone. Yeah. Yeah, and this one too.
You lose.
Absolutely. Be gone. Yeah, we
This
all
man
know
got
that
more buttons. It's terrible.
yeah, oh, absolutely. We know that your favorite team is the Cleveland Browns, and Double J's
Yes.
team is the Cleveland
Starting to sound
Browns.
like Mortal
But
Kombat in here.
Correct.
let me ask you, yeah, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, absolutely.
You lose.
Who turned you on to the Cleveland Browns?
The barbershop did. The fellas in yourself and the fellas in the barbershop. That's true.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
Absolute facts. I have no problem admitting that I'm a Cleveland Browns fan.
I got you.
Because of today's cutting style. I have no problem. I'll tell that to the world. Yeah, I became a Cleveland Browns fan. Matter of fact, that's the only reason I'm a Cleveland Brown fan. It keeps me close to the brothers I met at today's cutting style. I'll tell that to the world.
Oh, it's all good. I would give you another button for that, but absolutely not. Yeah, so no, you don't get one.
What does that have to do with the fact that I'm a Cleveland Browns fan and you are not? You're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers Browns fan.
Get to that point. What does that have to do with it? What does that have to do with the privacy of signing?
That's what it got to do with it. Yeah, let's go, baby. Yeah, Club 54, New York City. That's what it has to do with it. Okay, but training camps have opened, and all of the stuff coming out of Browns camp is spectacular, if that's even a word. You know, my player to watch for the Browns this year is Donovan Peoples-Jones. You heard it here first. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh, Michigan guy.
You're very good at this.
Yeah, he's balling. Oh, Double J. Oh, so now you want to weigh in? Yeah.
You lose.
All right. Okay. So with the training camps open, we of course are going to do our little divisional previews, you know, going all the way up to the start of the NFL season. And of course, this week we starting off. We're not doing the NFC East first like we did the last time. That was a disaster. Oh my gosh, that was a disaster.
What's that?
So this week,
why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Did I hear sirens? Or is that the Krispy Kreme truck outside your house? What in the world? That's too sweet, man. It's a little too sweet for you. There's too much glaze, if you know what I mean. Too much glaze, baby. We start with the NFC North. And in the NFC North, is that the black and blue division?
Seriously?
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I'm asking. Is that the black? Which division is the black and blue division? I don't know. I don't play Madden anymore. Ever since my rating went down, you know what I mean? I went from a 99 to a 19. I mean, what they do?
I'm not the NFL expert on this show.
Oh, no, I'm asking Double J over there. Yeah, he's over there wiping his brow.
So, I mean, yeah, it is. It is. I just, I knew our host was trying to,
be condescending.
We know. Just
okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah. Well, we'll start things off with none other than the Chicago Bears. Shout out to my man Tony Lopez and Kendall Gill up there in the parlay in Chi-Town and all the cats from Waukegan and so on and so forth as it goes on down. Let me ask you this question, Double J and Brother Rich, if you want to answer. Somebody's dog did. Wait a minute. I hear dogs in the background. Did somebody not count the hairs on the dog today?
Oh, the dog pound.
No, that's not how the dog. No, that's not the dog pound. That's the puppy. That's the APL back there. I don't know what's going on. The Bears. Here's the question: was moving up for Justin Fields a makeup attempt for drafting Mitch Trubisky, but not drafting Mahomes or Watson? Double J.
Oh, absolutely. This was the I don't have a choice move. There was everyone from down knew that had to be made. Because if you ask the fan base, look, even if they're not sold on the guy, they knew he was an instant upgrade from Mitch and from they signed it, and all the moves that they made to try to motivate and elevate the play in that position. The unfortunate side is their window. I mean, truthfully, if we've gotten Bones or even Watson, I'll say either. But, again, just given that system that was being ran, and I'm going even back with previous regimes.
Yeah.
and
but
defense of the ball, it is what it is. They're still they're not one of those bend but don't break defenses. They can force a turnover. They can get you the
yeah, okay.
They won't let you down is really the key.
Okay.
But offensively, you needed a game manager at the very least. And Mitch on his best days could do that. But this was a absolutely move.
Yeah. In addition to that, let me ask you this: okay? So Andy Dalton is the starter there, correct? Right, as of right now, somewhat.
Presently,
maybe. Okay, presently, Andy Dalton is the starter. Okay, so if Andy Dalton is the starter right now, he's just a stopgap. Justin Fields will be starting this season. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, we seen what Dalton did with, you had a front healthy, right? For the second half of the season, and so
right.
The reality of it is he is an attempt at a Band-Aid and nothing more than to buy time and give advice because I will say that I question a little bit. If you look at what Dak did in terms of progression last year prior to the injury, and this is where Bro Rich and I sit with that team.
Y'all love it.
I wonder how much the Andy Dalton relationship to Dak Prescott had in terms of an impact on his play, being in the same room, having those years of experience.
So you suggest
for a week or two, and give you as much advice as I can.
Okay, all right. So what you saying? Dalton pushed Dak. It was Dak. Dalton was somewhat competition for Dak.
Two huge divisions. One, you were franchise tagged again. Two,
okay,
they brought in Andy Dalton at $13 million. $13 million in the NFL goes that puts a lot of hot plates in terms of offensive linemen, other weapons. It addresses a whole lot of needs in other skill positions, if you will. Yep.
Yeah,
and so knowing that kind of money went to guys literally intended to hold a clipboard is certainly going to put a fire under anyone's behind. And additionally, look at in the prior year, you couldn't say from others than statistics alone that guy was going to lead them to a Super Bowl, and he had to elevate his game to get the deal that he did. I was curious to see what type of run Dallas specifically would have went on had he remained healthy, because they looked, to some extent, like they very well could have at least held their own against Tampa.
Yeah, yeah, for whatever reason, the technical difficulties, they're just getting outrageous here. But I'll say this as well. The Bears defense, you pointed out, was somewhat bend but don't break, so to speak. I'm wondering if that was because of how poor the quarterback play was. If I'm a defender on there, if I'm Khalil Mack, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, football is not one of them sports. You do have to play hard. You can't go easy because, your chances from whatever. I read a story somewhere where your chances increase exponentially
getting hurt
or whatever.
or worse.
Yeah, for getting hurt. Yeah, or so on and so forth. But, I mean, call it human nature. If I'm sitting on the sidelines, 100 yards with all that equipment on, and them guys is 260, 290, and 310 or whatever size they are, and you run up and down that field, man, what defense wants to go get a stop, And before they get to the sideline, got to go turn around, go right back out on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And go get another stop. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be sitting on the sideline saying, man, you know, I mean, that's my boy. You know, he a teammate, but my goodness, you know what I'm saying? Manager, I hope y'all taking a look at this. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on Mitch. You know, he's a hometown kid or whatnot. But, you know, that's why they call it NFL. You know, that's that next level, man. You know, it's different than high school and college. That's for sure. We've seen a whole lot of guys flame out. But, Rich, I mean, okay, so go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, Chicago it's their time now. They got to contend. They haven't contended in some time. And that's a franchise trying to change the look of the franchise. They haven't had a good quarterback in a long time. They haven't contended for a long time. So they're going for it. So I totally agree with Double J that Justin Fields is definitely, he's going to be starting before the season is over, with no doubt about it. They brought in Andy Dalton to give him some, you know, give him that good veteran seasoning, you know, until they feel he's ready. And they're throwing him in, no doubt about it. If not just for the wow factor, the excitement, the youth factor, the going with the youth movement, question. But they got to rebuild in Chicago. Ain't no doubt about that. And that's a franchise. Chicago's a city. They haven't won in a while. You got to win there. You know, the Cubs won, you know, after so long, but the Bears haven't contended in a long, long time. You got to contend to get people to want to come out to Chicago to sit on that cold lakefront to watch those games in the wintertime. You know?
Yeah, same thing go here in Cleveland.
Yeah, but we know Cleveland contends though, so we don't. You can't put them in that category.
Yeah, I was going to throw that out there. That
we don't know how the heck they get people in the stands. They haven't contended in forever.
They do. It's oil down in Texas.
I know. That's how they contend.
That's down there at a homeowners association convention. What are you saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I saw you find the friendly skies. I was like, that's my cat, bro. Rich in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane, man. That's being rich, man. Which y'all insane. Double J, you got something you want to add? Anyway, we're gonna slide on over to the Lions. Here's what I like.
Yeah. Just briefly, I've been that guy whose beverage is frozen on a Sunday.
On a Sunday night, man. Absolutely not.
Green Bay, Chicago.
No.
I've done it. I've been there, and I've hurried to the family room. That was.
Rum does not freeze. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm telling you, I used to be. I'm not. Hey, my mother's watching.
I know you with the premium beverages.
You telling us. Miami Hurricanes.
Hey, hold on.
Hurricanes, baby, Hurricanes.
Hold up. Yeah, Hurricanes. Hey, no, hold up. Slow it down, Kimosabi. Slow it on down. We don't do that here. Believe me when I tell you, this is why when you all say I'm not a Browns fan, I mean I'll be over here chuckling.
Mm-hmm.
If there are any Browns fans out here listening or watching, would you please tell my two esteemed co-hosts what it was like going to Municipal Stadium on a Browns playoff game in the middle of January? There's no other experience. That's why when we heard the dog barking, I was like, no, that's not the dog pound. They throw biscuits and batteries and bottles, in the old dog pound. You know what I'm saying? Now they wear, they raise their flags. You know what I'm saying? They ask for
that was my neighbor's dog, by the way. Let the jokes fly.
Like, oh, it's okay. I got you. You know what I'm saying? They say, go Browns, go Browns. Yeah, you can't. They don't let you do nothing in the dog pound. No, it's just a name now. You know what I mean? Man, please. Back in Municipal, man, you used to cut through the fence. You know what I'm saying? You can go look it up on YouTube. Sam Weish, but when he was coaching the Cincinnati,
I remember
he had to get on the. They gave him a microphone. He said, "No, I think it was Cincinnati. My bad." He said,
"It was
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
stop throwing. You're not in Cleveland."
You know that's what he said.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam. Yeah, that's how we get down here, baby. We throw bottles. You know what I mean? Yeah, they escort players off the field. The whole team had to go in the locker room for about 25 minutes until we can get the fans under some type of control. Budweiser Light, baby. Coach Dan Campbell is the head coach for Detroit. I think is his name, Dan Campbell, or Campbell Soup.
That's right, former tight end.
Anyway, yeah, his introductory press conference was cute, but let's be real. All eyes were on Jared Goff. Is it not? Oh, no.
Absolute fact. Absolute
okay, yeah.
I thought you was directing at Double J, but man, absolute fact.
Yeah. I know I wasn't directing Double J. I was just saying,
The
California.
man got
kid.
traded from the Rams to the Detroit.
Oh wow! You see the Double J? You see what I'm saying? That was the Detroit Pistons.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
Excuse
Darko Milicic, baby.
Excuse me.
Yes, and with the 32nd pick in this whatever year's draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Disa Jop. That sounded like that's who's gonna be playing quarterback.
No disrespect, Double J, but I think that's the only thing. No disrespect, Double J. I think that's the only thing your city and his city has in common. The Cowboys and the Lions haven't won in a mighty long time.
Oh, you know what? I tell you what. Hey, the Yankees can forget about going to anywhere this year because the Rays, they running that.
Well, this is absolutely true.
Oh, okay.
This is true.
Yeah, that's why
true.
you're wearing your Dodgers.
But they
hat
won't.
today.
They won't win nothing though.
Who
They's
won't
running
win
that. The Rays won't win nothing.
Oh man, please. The Yankees,
they won't win nothing.
Objection.
I tell you what, though, it is unrelated. It's a good time to be in Tampa. Matter of fact, I'll take that advice. I might be down that way a few weeks here. We'll see.
Oh boy,
nevertheless,
here we go. We got the jet setters. It's interesting that you all week are on a plane somewhere every week. Meanwhile, I'm stuck with Scott's weed feed trying to get the whatever they call it, the thing that's underneath my grass every week. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and I gotta
you sir are far more important than we, because if you don't do what you're doing, we're very much unable to do what we're doing, because we need that mail, which represents business, economic development, the ability to travel. And if you don't sit there with Mr. DeJoy and y'all plan how to harass the American people, if y'all don't sit there and plot out the strategy, how to let me see how long we can take to get them. You know how you were just talking about how if the government owe you something, they take forever to get it to you. I know you guys over there, y'all plot that out. Okay, let's see. We got to send a letter from DC to Los Angeles, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna send it to Guatemala, and then we're gonna send it to Peru, and then we're gonna swing it back around, and then we're gonna bring it back to LA. Is that how y'all do it?
No. See, what happened is the post office is going back to how they started out, and unfortunately, I'm not gonna name no names, but the rented mule service that was contracted with the post office.
I see. I believe it too. I really do believe it. I really do believe it. Because if somebody tell me they sent me something from the post, and I say, how you send it? And they say, through the U.S. Postal. I said, oh man.
Yeah, my man's over there. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So,
but I don't want to infringe on our relationship, our brother.
Okay, no, it's all good. I'm like Bernie Mac said, baby. When I break, I break. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, as we move along throughout the division, because we all know by now, now that Matt Stafford is gone, who cares about the Lions? Okay, I'm just saying. Browns.
Wow. Oh, here we go. See,
I'm a Matt. Oh, it's on record. I'm a Matt Stafford all day.
You have been a Matt Stafford. I'm a
Matt Stafford guy.
Yeah, he really has.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have been in the news here lately. He had a lot to say at his press conference about management. And I'm saying to myself, my goodness, does he get a pass, Aaron Rodgers, because he's Aaron Rodgers for saying what he said?
Without a doubt. Aaron Rodgers gets a pass because he's a white
Are you kidding?
Superstar quarterback in the NFL. He's the only person that could say that and still have a job, still have his sponsors.
No, Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yes. Tom Brady's on a whole nother level. We know he's on a whole nother level. There ain't no doubt about that. But if Dak Prescott said the same exact thing, he would be excoriated in the national media.
Oh my God!
Stephen A. Smith would get on the TV and destroy him. Shannon Sharp would give a soliloquy and a speech about him, and they would write all kinds of.
Would say?
Oh, Skip Bayless would destroy him, without a doubt. Would destroy him mercilessly. No, he'll destroy. No, because then he would be destroying the brand that is the Cowboys. Cowboys, he wants them to be about the brand, be about the shield. If you'll be about the Cowboys, he swears that the Cowboys is the only brand in football, and it's worth taking a deal. You remember several years ago during Dak's negotiations, he was arguing that Dak should take a far lesser deal just because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and his revenue off the field would compensate. That's the kind of nonsense he talks about.
Yeah, and that button was for Skip. I do remember that.
Yeah,
so
that
let me
was
ask
him.
this question then. Should Aaron Rodgers and the Packers win the whole darn thing this year? Because that's all. I mean, this is what they're measured by. The Packers are when they got the Aaron Rodgers. Shout out to my cat RB. I know you out there listening. If the Packers or should the Packers win it all this year?
They won't.
Is Jordan Love shown the door? Either one of you can go ahead and answer first.
They won't,
Jordan
and
Love.
he won't.
Okay,
they won't, and he won't. This is a deal for a 1-year deal to get him to play. He'll be gone somewhere else next year. Aaron Rodgers is, because they will not win. They're not good enough to win, just like they weren't good enough to win last year. They're gonna contend like they always contend. Absent. Here's the thing: he's older. They're more injury prone. Football is the nature of their team is not loaded to the degree that if they lose one key player here or there, they're in trouble. So it's going to be very difficult for them to make it all the way to meet the Browns in the Super Bowl. So that's not going to happen. So we're not worried about that. And Aaron Rodgers
are you calling your shot right now? You said the Browns in the Super Bowl?
I know you've been calling
that. Yeah, you've been calling that for quite a while. Double J, you
where's a rotary phone when we need one?
With a rotary phone.
That's a good
this is what I got to deal with on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all wonder why the top of my head looked like First Energy Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So let me ask you this: do you think the Packers will win it all this year? I'm just curious.
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard that. You do the Double J, right?
So if you could, no, absolutely not. If you look at the terms of Rodgers' deal, if he were to retire at the end of this year, he would have to forfeit about $11 million.
Yep.
Guaranteed money from a bonus standpoint. The way that they restructured the deal, not only did he tee off on him, but they gave him a raise. It freed up $10 million of cap space, naturally, that they'll use probably on the defensive side of the ball because they refused. But what we're seeing is the speaking of Jordan Love, is he clearly is not ready. Right?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, he's absolutely not. Yeah.
Be the guy and he could step in tomorrow, then they would have already moved on. And they can't, and they haven't. And that is truly a testament. Now, we also have to take into account that these past 2 years have been a little preseason games. You had some training camp, no training camp. So this is really kind of his first shot, but he's never seen an actual NFL snap, to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. So say he's going to be ready in a year's time. I'm still not even sold on that. I believe that's why Rodgers deals for 2 years, and then I think at that point, regardless, they are going.
They're gonna move on,
win or lose. Yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah.
I think so too. Things going to happen. Somebody else going to win a division in the North, and I believe that's going to happen this year, because what suddenly stopped getting talked about was the fact that Davante Adams was furious that he didn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, this is the day.
I don't care who the quarterback is. You lose him, you're not winning. We seen what Hopkins did. Look, as bad as I bagged on Deshaun Watson last year.
Oh yeah. I'm so.
If when you take that's that caliber, and there is some serious ramifications that get exposed and seen. So the fact that is quiet, it's one to pay very close attention to, because remember, Davante and Aaron are close. So you've seen
Yeah.
I've never heard one receiver really say anything bad about Rodgers. That's a
fact.
Not do.
Yeah.
But even when they leave, they still don't.
Well,
and now you get
that's interesting.
The best they could do is get a 40-year-old Randall Cobb back.
Yeah.
Seriously?
If you got chemistry, you got chemistry. You just never know. I'm with you.
I just don't understand how a team can run. Look, if you're the head coach of that team, you're Matt LaFleur, and you're literally, we've seen coaches fired for less here.
Mm-hmm.
You're like strategically trying to. My question is why? If you got 2 years left with the guy, why not give him everything he could possibly ask for outside of the financial stuff to try to give a quick run? Why are you going to try to win something in 2 years, or 2, 3, 4 years from now? What is around that corner? The fact that they think finally Brady will be done, or Mahomes might be
battered
his cap hit to KC now. Yeah, I don't understand the rationale or logic at all or philosophy from that franchise. And that's why what Rodgers said during that press conference really
was eye-opening.
Backlash from the media. Well, I think many of us have thought it for a while now, because I've never seen anyone. It feels like the movie Major League. It feels like those folks in the front office are.
But he's
go ahead, Brother Rich.
He's revealing the culture of the franchise. That's what you're talking about. That's the culture of the franchise. But look at the team itself. The apparent egalitarian, but underhanded approach to the team schematics, where everybody's equal, nobody's special. This is the team that gets rid of. This is the nature of football. The Green Bay Packers are the consummate football team where nobody's important. It's all about the brand. You're not important as an individual. There's no desire to form a relationship with you as a human being. These are the things he talked about, that I don't have to be in on every decision, but include me on something, because this is my livelihood, my career. But he could say that, but that's the nature of the sport. And so the Green Bay Packers are emblematic. Aren't they held up as one of the great football teams, one of the great franchises in NFL history? Why? Because this is the way they do it. They run it like that. Pittsburgh has its commitment to not changing head coaches. Their brand is a certain way. And the Cowboys, they're branded one way in terms of its outlandish spending that you all do out there. But this is what's going on in Green Bay. That they treat people, if I could use the language, but I don't use it on this platform, they treat people like doo-doo. Everybody is doo-doo.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Man, this is Brownstown right here. What you talking about? See, this is what I mean. This is what happens. This is what happens when you live.
Brownstown.
I live in Cleveland. You and Double J, y'all live in the gated community up there where, they got armed security guards. I mean, I'm just saying.
Malcolm X said a cat can have kittens in the oven that don't make them biscuits. Just because you live there don't mean you're a Brown.
Oh, wow. Really? Seriously? Got you. Okay, yeah. And then last but not least, the Minnesota Vikings. Here's the question. Now that Kirk's Cousins extension, $66 million, by the way, cha-ching, has kicked in. Does that mean a deep playoff run for the Vikings? Maybe even the bowl. There's a laugh track for you. Does that mean a deep playoff run, or maybe even? I mean, what are we doing here? Maybe even the bowl for them fans up north, as in Vikings. Double J? Are you still having technical difficulties there?
Look, no. I'm processing what you'd said, and look, I'm sure that's what the Vikings hoped for with the $66 million. However, they're paying wrong.
Don't forget they got Dalvin Cook now. They got a
And
1-2.
the reality of it is, I know they have Dalvin Cook, and that's who I was suggesting should have been paid. They hit an absolute Justin Jefferson. He's a guy that, whether it be fantasy, truthfully, it's in the Vikings' best interest to flip flop. I get it. Thielen might do some of the general things better, but you move Jefferson to the 1 and Thielen to the 2. I believe that would lead to not only a playoff run, but it would give them likely an opportunity to go to a
that division is
that's
division. I'm sorry. The defense is pretty solid. I think if you get consistent play from on the offensive side of the ball, you know my thing. It's the same thing with the Browns and any other team.
Well, we know your boy went.
Who's my boy? I'm glad you
Sheldon
had
Richardson.
difficulties at this. Oh, Sheldon Richardson. Oh yeah, well he went back, so to speak. The thing is, can the Vikings offense convert their fair share of third downs? And can the defense get off the field on third downs? If they do, their chances
now, yes.
I still got my eye on the Bears though, and Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to be not going to be a one-hit wonder. Yeah,
not year one though, but facts. But see, the Vikings' problem is they could win that, but where do they go from there? Because all roads lead to Tampa Bay. You got to go through Tampa Bay before
stop it.
No, here's why I say that. Because you're telling me that at the end of the day, you are counting on whom to beat whom. Is he going to beat Tom Brady for the NFC? That's not going to happen. So all roads lead through Tampa Bay. So if I line up for any team in the NFC, I got to see, okay, in the end of the day, can this team beat that team? And can they beat that guy? And the answer I keep coming up with when you bring up these teams is a resounding no. Hey, you said that last year. Check the tape. You did the same thing last year.
Oh, he sure did.
Check the tape. We said the same thing last year.
What did I say? Hey,
when we told you about Brady, when we told you about the young man in Kansas City, when we told you that Mahomes had arrived, you said the same kind of thing. You gave us button. You didn't have buttons, but you gave us the same kind of
gave you the Super Bowl
activity
last July.
We gave you the Super Bowl. Pull the tape. We gave it to you.
I never said anything on the contrary to Tom Brady and his having success.
Yes, you in fact did. In terms of his ability to get all the way back there, you doubted that ability to do that.
No, see,
check the tape.
Okay,
like you said, we gave you the Super Bowl before. We're giving you the Super Bowl. Look.
Okay, all right, okay.
We did give you with the last 2 years. We gave you the Super Bowl. We gave you that Kansas City was going to win 2 years ago. We told you that nobody was stopping Mahomes. Check the tape. We told you last year he was going back, and they're going, and that them and Brady are going. Check the tape and pull it. Check the tape.
Well, that tape was audio, and get like the footage for the Summer of Soul. It was been lost for about 45 years. But right now, since we're on national television, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to put it out there now. Who, since you all are Super Bowl predictors, put it out there now. Who win in the Super Bowl? Who are the participants and who's winning? Come on, we ain't even got the preseason yet.
I know one participant at this time. I have not yet gotten the second participant.
Barring injury, let's put that out
there.
Barring
injury, the Cleveland Browns are going to the Super Bowl. Barring injury. That's what I'm telling you right now. Yeah, and keep this tape.
Yuck it up. Yuck it up.
That you mocked us and you yucked us. Yeah, yuck it up. I like that. Keep this clip. Keep this clip.
Man. I'm
yuck it up. Have a great time. Have a blast mocking us.
Yeah, they all go in the vault. All the clips go in the vault.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm telling you right now, I know I jest because that's all this is. Should the Browns, and you heard me say this before, Brother Rich, and Double J, you can hear it right here and now. Like John Cena would say, you can't see me. I told you. What have I been telling you about the Browns, Brother Rich?
What you mean? How they're terrible and you're not rooting for them
Super Bowl, I said if the Browns just ever get to a Super Bowl, they ain't got to win it. You people gonna have to here in Northeast Ohio, they're gonna have to start boarding up their houses like people down in Florida when a hurricane is coming. I'm telling you, we ain't talking about winning it. We talking about just getting there. I'm telling you right now.
Well, listen, buy some planks, buy some wood.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we got plenty of Home
right
Depots
now.
here. Not sorry. Yeah,
buy some wood. Buy it early, like he said. It's supposed to be expensive right now. Lumber's expensive. Start buying yours.
And okay, yeah, I ain't mad. So what we're saying is, ho, because I'm going on record right now. I'm not jumping out of plane at 50,000 feet with no parachute, making these early on Super Bowl predictions, and they ain't even in pads yet at training camp. But I get you. You know what I'm saying? You know, the heat of the season is upon us. You know, fans is rah-rahing right now. You say all the roads lead through to Tampa Bay, all right?
Yes, in the NFC, all roads lead through Tampa Bay.
Sean McVay, barring injury, and the Rams will have something to say about that with Matt Stafford.
I agree with that. I can agree with that. I agree with that. Agree with that. That's why I said I haven't settled on who's coming out the NFC.
Absolutely.
I just know who's coming out the AFC. I know that. I know who's representing the AFC. Yes.
No, you mean the NFC, the team Tampa Bay?
No, I said I know who's coming out. I know who's the AFC representative. I said I haven't decided on whether or not which of those two teams that you pointed out, which of those two teams represents. You see,
the NFC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was a nice little soliloquy. Anyway,
so who do we think goes backward?
Try it again, Double J. You're technical on your side. It's just What are you saying? Try again.
Who goes backwards then?
In the NFL this year, period, or AFC versus NFC? Which division? I mean, which conference?
Well, just to make that type of prediction, it has to imply, again, barring injury, who
okay.
goes
So in other words,
backwards?
You sliding Kansas City, you sliding the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But here's the thing. I believe this is the year that Kansas City and Cleveland battle it out, and we beat them this year. That's what I believe. We beat them in the AFC Championship, and that's Kansas City stays right where they are because they're a dynasty. They're here. But this year is the Cleveland Browns Super Bowl. This is it. Whether we win another one ever again, but this is the Browns championship to win.
Yeah, let me clean my glasses. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah. Let me say it again.
Let me clean my glasses so I can hear what you said. What happened now? Clean my glasses so I can hear what you said. What you said? That's what it's like. It's like a car wreck right quick. Hold up. Okay, let me check the frames. Okay, you want to run that by me one more
again?
Young son? Okay.
The Browns go to the Super Bowl. It's the Browns Super Bowl to win. The Browns beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AF, barring injury. Let's continue to say that. So when you pick the tape up,
yes, of course,
barring injury, the Browns go to the AFC Championship and defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Browns go to the Super Bowl. Yes, and the Browns win the Super Bowl. Keep the laugh track going. The Browns win the Super Bowl. Yes, the Browns win the Super Bowl. Regardless of who we play, we win the Super Bowl. Yes.
Oh, he jumping all. That's
all the way.
Gosh.
All the way in. All the way.
Okay, so Double J, before we get out of here, that's good stuff today too, fellas. Despite the technical difficulties, we appreciate the folks out there that's been staying with us. We appreciate y'all. Shout out. Double J, are you doubling down on that? Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, check the tape. Check the tape. That's all we ever hear on here. Check the tape. The Dallas and the cocaine rain from Miami and all that old type of stuff. Man, nobody want to hear that, man. Ray Lewis, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, what were you gonna say? Yeah, take us on out of here, Double J. Oh, and by the way, Brother Rich, I'm so glad I got my boots on because you just laid it on real thick.
Hey, that's fine.
You
I'm standing on what I said.
Okay.
I'm good with me.
Okay. I mean, you talking about standing on what you said. I got a step ladder too. I got a little gorilla giant, whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't saying nothing, man. Double J, so you doubling down?
Absolutely. Whether we're standing on the squatty potty or what.
My gosh.
See you at the parade.
It's parade season. I'm telling you.
It's parade season. we will at some
Even
point.
even LeBron is going to become a Browns fan again this year. Watch. They're all going to be Browns fans.
Oh, so
Yeah.
who is he a fan of? Your favorite player? Who's he?
Your team, the Cowboys.
that ain't my
Y'all
team.
all Cowboys fans.
Oh, yes, he
Y'all
is.
Cowboys fans. He's a Cowboys fan. He's just a fan of your
I
team.
said not my team. Not my team. Everybody that knows me knows who my team is.
What? Ooh, the Miami
Hey.
Hurricanes, the Miami Hurricanes, the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know that. The Pittsburgh is your AFC representative, and your Dallas is your NFC representative, and Miami represents you in collegiate sports. We know this. What are you talking about?
Okay, yeah, that's all right.
We got
That's all right. We make it.
Pittsburgh and Baltimore. He flip flops.
Facts. Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh, y'all better be glad in here because he has something to say about all that action. Yeah, it's all good. Good stuff, fellas. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the StreamYard network. We most likely, due to the technical difficulties, we most likely will be making some changes. So if we don't have a show for y'all next week, understand that we will be back the following week, God willing, that we were working on this issue right here because you can't have this kind of stuff right here. I think the content was pretty good today, or if you could decipher some of it in spite of the technical difficulties. But yeah, we're going to be working on some stuff behind the scenes. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and wherever you listen to your favorite video, VOD, or podcast, as well as the shop's Facebook fan page. You can check out our website too, theshopreport.com. And if that don't work, Google it. For my man's Be Rich, Double J, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.
Dog pound.